Hello, everyone. This is Divine Femme Tarot. Thanks for joining me here for this channeled message. This is a general energy reading for no, but no audience in particular. I kind of just asked Spirit to send me a message that was most fit for those who were going to receive it. And so I was given two cards. The card on the left is the Yin Empress, which is card 40. On the right is Maiden Magu, card 16. And both of these energies apply to all viewers. So, the message here for us is that the world really needs some yin energy. As many of you may know, yang energy or more masculine energy is pretty rampant. That imbalance can be pointed to as a factor or a cause in a lot of the situations that have arisen in the present and in human history. Yin energy, or rather the divine feminine energy, is really just starting to arise and definitely still trying to be understood. A lot of us, some of us may even think that we know what divine feminine energy is, and this is regardless of whether you're a male or a female, we have this idea that we know what it is because of our experiences or what we've witnessed in our mothers or in our friends or that sort of thing. But divine femininity is, for example, instead of competition, it's cooperation. Instead of like taking action and forcing something, it's more drawing it in, attracting it in, sort of relaxing into a movement instead of trying to push that movement out. This is going to sound so sorry for the toilet reference, but it's sort of like you could go to take a dump and try to force it out and tense up and get all yang with it, or you can choose to yin and relax and let your body pick up on the cues and let it do its thing. So that example aside, we definitely are all being called to remember to take it easy. A lot of us are so used to making things happen, especially us in the West, are so used to manifesting things, so used to making improvements in our lives, making changes in our businesses, in resolving conflict. I'm hearing also with sort of this like maybe like a fight or flight kind of mentality, like a very action oriented mentality. And what Spirit wants us to know is we have another option, an option maybe that may feel very strange to a lot of us, but one that is healthy. And that option is, in a sense, well, chilling out, of course, but in a sense, like retreating from that urge, retreating from that habit that we've created, which is to create, to really do on our, like, what is it? At the pace that our ego wants, at the pace that's going to give us that satisfaction quickly. Patience is definitely a theme here with the Yin Empress. Really softening the mind, the body, the spirit, and really just loosening up, settling in, and breathing, taking things slow, napping without guilt, doing things that give us pleasure, that don't serve us in any practical or directly, what's the word? Like directly financially rewarding way or that kind of thing. To take a walk through nature instead of finishing that project that we want to finish. Letting messages from the universe come to us more loudly, more clearly, more easily, because when we settle into yin energy, and evening out that imbalance, it's easier for us to listen. It's easier for us to notice the signs because we're not so busy in distractions and doing things and all of that kind of thing. So, I will go on to read the description of the card in just a second, but I wanted to talk about the Maiden Magu card. This card is about a card about. It's interesting because this card is so light and so like lovely with its white and its yellow tones, but it's actually a card of reaching that state by doing shadow work. If any of you guys saw the other video where we got the Shadow of Veils card, this card almost couples with that card. Very similar in energy. It talks about how we're being called again and again to rise above our judgmentality. This card in particular deals with judgmentality, which is a result of our shadow self. And judgmentality of others, I feel that many of us stop there. We pass our judgment, and as rational creatures, we stop there. We feel our feelings are valid, our thoughts are valid, our conclusion is valid. It's based upon evidence, typically. And I remember Teal Swan once said, ignorance is not, not choosing to think these thoughts that are beneficial to you. Ignorance is not questioning your thoughts. And so this card, the Maiden Magu card, asks us to question our thoughts of judgmentality, to sit with them. That when we draw judgment upon others, what we're really doing, once we question that, we'll find that what we're really doing is it's a reflection of the judgmentality that we may pass on ourselves. Spirit wants us to not pass judgment on ourselves as well, to accept the shadow side and the dark side and, our energy as a whole. And to use judgmentality as a form of I suppose the word for it, as Teal Swan puts it, is like feedback. It's a good form of feedback. For me, I think of it like an X marks the spot. So if we look around and we think, God, everybody is so, so stupid or, so immoral. How could they do such a thing? Like, they're such bad people. Then what that may reflect upon us is some sort of insecurity about our intellect, or an insecurity or some sort of standard that's been illuminated for ourselves in morality. And maybe some disappointment we have upon ourselves about the way that we may have acted or are acting. And so it shows some healing that needs to be done, at that X marks the spot sort of idea. And it can really be a great tool. So when we find ourselves tensing up and wanting to give in to that vibration, to take a deep breath, to soften up instead of fighting or running away from the thought or situation, to not resist it. Accept that we've passed judgment on somebody and to start reflecting on it, meditating on it, maybe drawing lines to past situations, childhood situations, parental relationships that may have caused us to have sore spots, or other traumatic experiences that may have wounded us in a way that's causing us to be so inflamed about the way that a person or a situation is in the world. So, with that being said, there's also a call from the divine in these two cards to understand that we are doing all this because we have a gift that we are uniquely positioned to give the world. Sorry, that was a hiccup. That us as a whole, in unconditional love, is a beautiful gift upon this world. And that it's our destiny to bring balance to the earth, bring more divine femininity, whether you are male or female, to soothe, to heal, to spread compassion relentlessly. And that whatever originality we have come into in our human experience is going to serve everyone in the end. And that is the message. I will go ahead and read the descriptions of the cards for you now. 40. The Yin Empress. The Yin Empress brings peace, prosperity, and success to her beloved devotees. Your soul purpose includes healing and empowerment of the divine feminine, the Yin Empress herself. You gain power, assistance, and untold blessings in following your soul purpose. You are lifted and supported into your sacred work now. And it goes on to say, you are a spiritual leader and a pioneer, and part of what you are here to do for the planet on a soul level, whether you are a man or a woman, is to empower the divine feminine, the cosmic empress of yin, or divine feminine energy, so that we might live in more balance as a species on the earth. The divine feminine is only now making her resurgence on this planet, and many do not understand her. Your sacred task, for which you will be richly supported, nourished, rewarded, is to help live her truths now. In doing so, you are planting seeds of awareness and experience for others to draw from when they too are ready to live into her sacred truths. This will explain why at times you feel you do not fit into current culture. You are not meant to, because you are meant to help it grow and change. In the same way that beloved Kuan Yin had a rebellious and compassionate streak, and did not fit into the world in the way that it was, because she was born to help it heal and ascend, so too does your soul yearn to make a real difference in this world, to help it be free of fear that leads to competition and domination and power struggles, and instead to live from a place of love and peace. The gifts of the Yin Empress are experienced through your feminine power, which is accessed through living your heart truths, your genuine values, and your fierce gentleness. Femininity is not weak, nor is it aggressive. It is it is fierce compassion that refuses to descend into judgment. And if it does, rise again to compassion over and over and over again. Men and women in touch with their feminine power are able to love, to have compassion, to be truthful, and to honor what really matters to them, whether it fits with contemporary cultural values or not. They realize that they are helping to create a new culture with wiser values. Living in this way not only feels better and more truthful, it also leads to a successful life with much creativity, positive contribution, personal empowerment, and satisfying relationships, not to mention inspiration for others to draw from so that they too may grow. You are being asked to live into your feminine power now, to be true to who you are, and not give in to social conditioning that tells you feminine power is not enough, that you must compromise your values, your beliefs, or your compassion to, quote unquote, get ahead, or, quote unquote, come out on top. You do not have to live that way. You are being empowered to live from your heart and realize that this is not only enough, it is a blessing for all. The Yin Empress thanks you for your loving devotion and sacrifice to her, and shines blessings upon you now, beloved. So again, just to reiterate, this is a really, really beautiful card that we're all getting. I think that it's going to call us to be brave. The word rebellious really stuck out with me. We're going to have to rebel against past traditions, past belief systems, past routines and habits and paths, past paths, past, ways of getting abundance, past ways of getting success, past ways of looking at love, past ways of moving through the world and living. So it's going to take strength, it's going to take bravery, but know that this is your path to a beautiful life for yourself and a beautiful world. So, moving on to the next card, the Maiden Magu card. Card 16. 16. There you are. Okay. Card 16, Maiden Magu. The Maiden Magu, goddess of spring, healing, and transformation, brings you assistance now. You are asked to honor that light. You are asked to honor that light can come from even the darkest beginnings, beloved one. In fact, sometimes we need to enter into the unknown parts of ourselves to find exactly what we need to grow in peace, creative self-fulfillment, and happiness. The challenge can be to trust that we will arise from this darker place again, just as the spring always follows the winter, beloved, so too will any inner work with the shadow precede a beautiful rebirth of you. Maiden Magu, an immortal... let's see here. Yeah, it goes on to say, Maiden Magu, an immortal expression of the Divine Mother of the East, now brings you a special message from Kuan Yin. She guides you to trust that if you enter into the darkness of the unknown parts of yourself, you will emerge into light, reassembled and reborn once more. If you are going through chaos in your life because you are allowing yourself to grow, Maiden Magu also reassures you that the order and light will emerge out of the chaos in due course. Have faith and keep growing. So it's sort of like a light at the end of the tunnel kind of deal. Like, no, it's just there. It's like right around the corner. It's coming. In order to grow spiritually, there are times when we simply must delve within and find our shadow. It is easier to perceive the effect of the shadow than the shadow itself. The effect of the shadow is judgment, positive or negative, of another that we do not think is related to us personally. We may mightily admire or despise characteristics or traits in another, And yet, when such judgments arise, it is a part of us that is seeking to be integrated and expressed, trying to get our attention through our judgment. Noticing our judgments of others is the quickest way to get in touch with the shadow self, trying to grow and heal into our conscious awareness so that we can become more whole, empowered, and divinely delicious as we were always meant to be. This is especially so if you have pulled the Veil of Shadows card, as well as Maiden Magu. Your judgment might be a strong reaction to a person who seems to be self-centered and self-obsessed. The shadow in the self trying to communicate with you through this judgment might be the part of your own consciousness that wishes to be more supportive of the self. It will no longer allow you to put yourself behind others, but instead encourage you to express yourself and take up your space with presence. Admiring a great talent in another with strong reaction or judgment, positive or negative, might be a part of your own psyche wishing to grow and express itself with similar confidence and freedom too. It can be extremely surprising exactly how many wonders are hiding in the parts of us that we are yet to know consciously. Sometimes there is anger, fear, jealousy, or shame wrapped around those hidden parts of self. If we can be kind, allow the feelings to come up and to pass without fearing them, then eventually the beauty underneath will reveal itself too. You are being guided by Mother Divine Kuan Yin through the Maiden Magu to realize that there is a part of you within that is trying to emerge. You may have judgments of others on one issue or trait that seems to be more repetitive or noticeable as of late. You are guided to sense what beauty within you could be underneath these judgments, trying to make its way into your conscious awareness, bringing you more of yourself to enjoy and share with the world. Be patient and open-minded as you wait for your intuition to help you realize what is growing within you, triggering your judgment of another. If it is anger you see in others, it will be strength growing in you. If it is manipulation you see in others, it will be a desire to be direct and own your needs within you that is growing. The shadow holds great beauty within, beloved, and there is no need to fear it. Maiden Magu's special blessing to you is to realize that you will soon enter the spring of rebirth with this process. Entering into the shadow self can feel like going into a spiritual winter. It can feel dark and alone, delving into the parts of us that we might prefer not to look at too closely. Allow the process that is happening for you to bring more of you to light. Don't be scared. You might not have been ready to see yourself as an empowered, spiritual, musical, creative, healthy, or talented being in the past. And yet now, you are more ready for this. So embrace it. Have trust in beloved Kuan Yin that these energies only seek expression when the psyche is ready for it. This card is also an indicator that if you have been working on a project, whether it be self-healing and shadow work or a creative project, or are looking to work with children, rebirthing, or creative endeavors more generally, the time is fast approaching when this will come together as a new reality for you. So, I hope that that message was helpful. Definitely, judgment has been a theme for both cards. So, something definitely to meditate on and sit with. Again, the shadow self, which arises in judgment, as it was said, is really going to be that X marks the spot. So, like it said about how anger, if you see anger in others, then it's going to be strength within you that's going to grow. Really pay attention to that, reaction within you as you do your shadow work. And I wish you all much strength and much bravery and much energy as you heal and as you learn and as you forgive and as you embrace the divine feminine. And I will see you all next time. Thank you.